Dear friends, Your Excellencies, Madam Minister, it is really a great pleasure for me to welcome you all here to the Unstoppable Conference. As we were talking with the organizers, who by the way have worked really hard to make this happen for the past few months now, since last year, it struck me as to how good the name was, Unstoppable. And it's a conference about women overcoming barriers to success. And it's really good to see all of you from the Western Balkans and other countries come here tonight and stay in Tirana for the next 4 days and share and learn and teach each other as to how we can make these beautiful things happen. Women taking part in decision-making, in leadership, in organizations and institutions, and also in business. So it's quite a sight. I'm really excited to be here, and I wanted to read a few words about the Western Balkans Fund that brought us all here together. The Western Balkans Fund is an international organization located here in Tirana, which is funded by the governments of Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, North Macedonia, Montenegro, and also Serbia. Its establishment as an all-inclusive, regionally owned initiative is a sign of a new cooperation spirit taking root in the Balkans. The innovative idea of having, for the first time, a regionally owned grant-giving instrument like the WBF is inextricable from the Berlin process of 2014. Since its formal establishment in 2017, the WBF has funded more than 138 regional projects, resulting in 400 regional partnerships. Most importantly, they have created a network that includes more than 5,800 stakeholders. But the Western Balkans Fund is much more than a grant-giving mechanism. It has been and remains committed to issues that regard us all. The Unstoppable Conference, which gathers us here tonight, is the fourth successful series initiated by the Japanese government in 2020. The WBF conferences started with the Civil Society Summit in 2020 and then continued with the impact of COVID-19 on sustainability of the CSO sector in the WB region. Last year, the FIRE Conference, another great name, against misinformation and language of hate speech, united in Tirana more than 40 regional experts and hundreds of participants with an important recommendation for the central and local authorities, for the CSOs and also the media. And this year, Unstoppable is the crown jewel of WBF's advocacy, becoming the largest ever event realized by the Western Balkans Fund in cooperation with Japan, the International Visegrad Fund, and Forum 2000. In the next 4 days, more than 60 speakers and moderators from more than 100 participants from 20 countries have arrived in Tirana and will be part of this conference. I could say much more. I have plenty of paper here, but I think it's time to welcome for his welcoming speech Mr. Gjergj Murra, the Executive Director of the Western Balkans Fund. An applause, please.
Thank you, Blendi. Dear Minister Xhaçka, honorable ambassadors and representatives of the diplomatic corps, esteemed experts, panelists, and participants to the conference, dear partners from the Embassy of Japan and the International Visegrad Fund, distinguished guests, dear friends. It's a pleasure to welcome you all in this largest advocacy event ever organized by our fund, considered as an important milestone interregional conference in Tirana, which is focused on the women and leadership. On behalf of Western Balkan Fund and our long-standing partners, Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the International Visegrad Fund, let me wish to all you dear participants a very successful conference and a pleasant stay in Tirana. Unstoppable Conference is part of WBF yearly advocacy activities, we stand at the core of our present mission, vision and objectives as an organization created by the region to serve the region. WBF is a grant-giving organization, and that's the core of our mission. And in the last 5 years, and it was mentioned here by Blendi, we have supported about 140 regional projects, creating a network of more than 5,000 stakeholders and direct beneficiaries, better connecting the region at the grassroots level. Throughout the years, our growth is becoming bigger than our grants. Through organizing thematic regional events like this one, WBF is better positioning itself as a relevant regional actor, aiming to enhance good neighborly relations, social cohesion, and people-to-people link in our region. In our view, the unstoppable objectives are broader, multidimensional, resonating to a wider context. The conference, which is also very actual in our view, aims to provide a platform for discussions and concrete recommendations on how to foster gender equality and equal access to success and leadership in every aspect of social life, both in the Western Balkans and in the V4 region. By bringing forward the emerging realities, similarities, and differences, the objective of the conference is to identify and address the achievements, challenges, and the gaps, highlighting also their impact in the overall development processes in our regions. In this regard, I really appreciate the involvement of more than 50 speakers and panelists. So the conference, it's, let's say, it will be more people taking the stage than people that will, so that it will be a very active conference. And the speakers are coming both from WBF and V4 regions, but also from Japan and other EU countries, including politicians, community leaders, civil society representatives, activists, and regional experts. It is a pleasure to have such a wide and significant participation of distinguished people with different professional backgrounds and expertise who will actively contribute to our joint efforts. Together, we will be able to deliver more grounded and empowering messages in regard of the translation of cross-cutting-edge leadership science into sustainable actions. Speaking to all of you, distinguished participants, I want to sincerely appreciate your presence and consider this opportunity a great meeting point between mindsets, cultures, and experiences. Many of you postponed or canceled other meaningful professional engagement to be in Tirana with us. On behalf of Western Balkans Fund and our partners, I sincerely thank you for being here. Deep appreciation to our WB6 Ministries of Foreign Affairs of contracting parties for the partnership and the ongoing support toward all of our important activities. Dear Minister Xhaçka, once more your presence here tonight is a strong signal of the commitment of Albania toward the regional cooperation and equality agenda. We look forward with great excitement to Tirana 2023 chairmanship in office of the Western Balkan Fund, and we are sure that under your leadership our fund will reach important objectives that we have put forward. Gratitude to the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is already the fourth activity that we are organizing together, and I am confident that this cooperation will only become stronger in the future. Many thanks to the International Visegrad Fund for the partnership and help provided over many years. Many thanks also to Forum 2000 Foundation that pursues the legacy of Václav Havel by supporting the values of democracy and respect of human rights, assisting the Unstoppable Conference. Sincere gratitude to the Swiss government for the core support provided to our fund toward reaching our strategic objectives. Hosting such important advocacy event is one of those. Thank you all, dear friends and partners, for believing in our mission. The Japanese people have many wise popular sayings. I would like to underline one. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid of staying still. It may take us many years to reach full parity by taking small steps towards progress. But if we just choose to stand still, it will be an eternity. Dear friends, we at WBF are confident that this conference will trigger us to open our horizons, grasp new opportunities, and inspiring insights contributing toward a better common future. By saying that, let me conclude to ask you for a round of applause for the real organizers of this conference, the members of WBF staff, which are Dafina, Xenia, Fjordi, Uroš, Hanan, Clevis, Enea, Orgeta, and Balbona. Thank you on the present stage.
Thank you, Mr. Murra. This is a conference about women, but not only. As I stated before, the purpose is to open paths to bring women to leadership, to institutions, to businesses, to CSOs, because they work, and it works when women are in power, when they're in charge, and they've proven it time and time again, even in our region of the Western Balkans. So, without further ado, it is my great pleasure to welcome my dear friend and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Albania, Mrs. Olta Xhaçka.
Thank you so much, dear Blendi, my childhood friend from more than 30 years now. Director Murra, Excellencies, dear friends and colleagues, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here with you on such an important topic. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all those that have come to Tirana from the region. I trust that Director Murra and the organizers of this conference will show you the best of Albanian hospitality. Thank you so much for this invitation at this regional conference on a topic that on the one hand is of great importance to our societies, to the region, and to the world as a whole, and on the other hand, an issue that I really care about and is without a doubt one of my foremost priorities. I want to thank all those that made this conference possible, the Western Balkans Fund, the International Visegrad Fund, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan. And allow me to commend Director Murra and the team of the Secretariat for the good work that they've been doing with the WBF. I was looking at some records at our ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and to my surprise, I found out that during the entire communist period, there were no women ambassadors. Indeed, for so far as I could verify, there were no women at all in Albania's missions and embassies abroad appointed in any diplomatic capacity. I was surprised because for the communists, the emancipation of women was a major theme in all their propaganda. But apparently, there were limits to their idea of emancipation. I was told that the international reason or the informal reason why no women were appointed in any diplomatic capacity abroad was that they were considered vulnerable. Diplomacy was a men's field, just like the army or police. Fast forward to 2023, the Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs is led by a woman. Both deputy ministers are women. The majority of our diplomats are also women, as are our ambassadors in some of the most important embassies Albania has, such as the EU, the US, Italy, or Greece. Perhaps the most striking element of this that illustrates how much progress Albania has made in regards to women empowerment is the fact that the presence of so many women in positions of power causes no surprise to anyone. It is old news already. at the Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs, of course, but also in the government, where Albania, I think, has one of the highest levels of women representation in the world, with 13 out of 17 ministries. Obviously, at the local level, where representation in the councils, in the city councils, is 50-50, but also at institutions such as the army or the police, mainly institutions par excellence, where more and more women are being enrolled in leadership positions. Of course, the importance of women's agenda for Albania, while rooted in our domestic developments, has by now become a central element of our foreign policy as well. The Women, Peace and Security agenda was one of the central priorities of our OSCE chairmanship and is one of the main priorities of our UN Security Council mandate. The reason for this is simple. It is not ideological or dogmatic. We want to share our experience with the world. We want to tell our story of how empowering women, by empowering women, you can change the course of a country's development. You can liberate more energies, more talent, more initiative that can propel your country toward development. But above all, doing so can guarantee a fairer and a more just society. Of course, I'm not suggesting, even for a moment, that this is mission completed. It is not. On the contrary, there is a lot of hard work ahead until women's rights are guaranteed, until women really enjoy equal opportunities, and until the famous glass ceiling has really been demolished. But what we have done so far is enough to tell us that we are on the right path and that we should double down our efforts, because we can all see what an amazing impact empowering women can have. And that is what we intend to do, of course, working closely with all elements of our society and working even closely with our international partners. So once again, thank you for this conference, and I truly hope that we can organize more events of this nature and dedicate more resources to this important agenda in the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Minister. Time now to hear from Mrs. Maja Wawrzyk, who is the Deputy Executive Director of the International Visegrad Fund. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. I know that my name is difficult, as Albanians' names are. I'm coming from Poland, but I'm representing here the International Visegrad Fund. I would like to emphasize that for all 4 Visegrad countries, it means the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia, Western Balkans region is very, very important. All 4, they express constantly their support for the European aspiration of Western Balkans partners. In this regard, 4 ministers of foreign affairs welcome collaboration between the International Visegrad Fund Secretariat, founded in 2000, with the Secretariat of the Western Balkans Fund. We share our experience as secretariats, and we support events organized by Western Balkans Fund, bringing Visegrad element to those events. Here I would like to as well mention that Visegrad Fund's grants line are as well open for NGOs or civil society organization coming from Western Balkan countries. You are more than welcome to apply for our funds. We are trying to boost this collaboration. We are organizing info sessions for possible applicants from Western Balkans country. And we help as well to find partners for different kind of projects in Visegrad countries. So I invite you to consult our website and as well have discussion with me this evening if you are interested. I'm very glad that women and experts from Western Balkans and Visegrad countries, those two regions, can meet in Tirana and share their experiences and exchange opinions. Maybe we will have as a fruit common projects in future that we can support. And at this moment, I wish you very successful and fruitful discussions and enjoy your stay in Tirana.
Thank you. Well, as you heard, the government of Japan, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, has been a supporter of this conference and other conferences the WBF has organized in the past. So it's my pleasure to invite you to watch a video message sent by Mr. Takada Mitsuyuki, who is the Japanese ambassador in Tirana. Let's watch it.
Dear Minister Xhaçka, distinguished ambassadors, Executive Director Mr. Murra, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Tirana. First of all, I'd like to express great thanks to Mr. Murra, Western Balkans Fund staff, and all others involved in making today's event possible. As one of the main sponsors, I was eagerly awaiting this event, but unfortunately, due to a schedule with Prime Minister Rama visit to Japan, I am very sorry that I am unable to be there in person. I hope my presence, even online, will be able to express my sincere support for this conference. Although women's advancement in society has progressed greatly over the past few decades, areas remain where social disparities and gender inequality can be considered as major challenges. For example, during the COVID-19, it was reported an increased gender-based violence in many countries, while women, making up the majority of workers in healthcare and nursing, had to work for excessive hours, facing a serious risk of infection. Furthermore, it is estimated that 90% of displaced persons from war-torn countries are women and children. Under these circumstances, incorporating a gender perspective into all social dimensions is becoming more significant. The United Nations adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, as well as Goal 5 and the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015. Achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls is a vital contribution to progress on all goals and targets. In response to these goals, the international community has been promoting gender mainstreaming to ensure gender equality and gender perspectives in all efforts and to reflect them in measures. The Japanese government also believes that gender equality and women's empowerment will bring great vitality to the world, and is proactively implementing initiatives to promote women's advancement in various projects. From the perspective of supporting such efforts, the government of Japan has held the International Women's Conference 6 times so far since 2014, with the aim of gaining global knowledge and experience in the field of women empowerment. In this context, I strongly believe that this is very timely and meaningful for the Western Balkans Fund to host this conference on the theme of women and leadership. In particular, I'm pretty sure that the diversity of the participants in this conference, representing on various regions, fields, and generations, including those who are active on the front lines of their respective fields, will contribute greatly to the discussion of this very important topic. I hope that you will enjoy your time in Tirana and learn more about countering social disparities and gender inequality and how much work still needs to be done in creating an environment where everyone can live their lives to the fullest. Most of you have faced or witnessed such issues at a certain moment of your lives. So I believe that sharing these experiences will help many other people of the region who are going through them at this very moment. In closing, I wish the Western Balkans Fund successful implementation of this conference and reiterate the commitment of the government of Japan to continue supporting both the Western Balkans and the Visegrad regions, working together and finding new concrete possibilities for cooperation. Thank you very much.
That's His Excellency Takada Mitsuyuki, ladies and gentlemen. We have almost run down the agenda for tonight. There's a reception up on the 23rd floor I'd like to remind you of. But before that, I'd like to welcome Dafina Beqiri, who is a program director with the WBF. And we will go through the agenda for the next 3 days really quickly, just to give you an idea as to how this conference is built and structured and how it's going to work. So, Dafina.
Thank you very much. Just a quick remark. The reception is going to happen on the next door.
Okay, so no 20.
So
okay.
not 23rd, because it was so hard to manage all the elevators, putting you all together. Thank you, thank you, Blendi, and thank you very much for being here with us. It is really a pleasure to have people all around Europe and Japan also. It was not easy to bring you all here, but thanks to your desire to contribute to such an important topic, it means a lot to us. We at Western Balkans Fund, as it was stated before, we really try to tackle some burning issues, and this was about time to tackle, even though sometimes it's considered quite sensitive, but we love to deal with sensitive topics. So even though we understand that you here, not everybody's going to be with us during the whole 3-day conference, we would like to go through the structure, how we envision to keep you involved. So I would like, just before I start with the conference, I would like just to say, I hope we will disclose some of the views that are mostly present in our societies, that leadership skills are really defined with masculine traits. So maybe this will stay with you and we'll discuss more in details. So let's try not to be sensitive and be fair. So each day we will start with a plenary session, as you saw the agenda on the screen. With the plenary session, we try to bring speakers that we will have a chance to learn something new, and to always to see the perspective and struggles how these women and personalities have been through and where they are today. After the plenary session, our 4 experts are coming from the region will bring you all together in working groups where you will have a chance to share your views. And then from the working groups, we will divide you in mentoring sessions where we try to find the most qualified mentors. And I'm happy to have these mentors with us because you're going to learn something new, but very much needed. And during your application form, you signed for each session. So make sure you see in what mentorship session you are. On Tuesday, we will have arranged a visit to Museum of Women in Tirana. So who wants to attend this visit, please make sure you contact our team members so they can give you more details about it. And on Tuesday, we have exclusive circles where we try to bring the most qualified experts, even from Japan. So you're going to have more, let's say, fact-based information, and you will have a chance to share all your opinions and to disagree, because we love to agree to disagree. And on Wednesday, we want also what we would like. I would like to thank the young leaders coming from the region, and we have a whole plenary session dedicated to young leaders because we believe that the future is going to be brighter. Thank you very much, young leaders. And on the last day, we have tried to have only 2 plenary sessions. In these 2 plenary sessions, we want to see what we learned during these days and also to have some institutional commitment for the future. And in regard to other more detailed logistics, we will make sure that we will update you on timely manner. So I will not get very much into details, but more or less this is it. And I would like to thank you, everyone, and give the floor to our professional journalist here, Mr. Blendi.
Oh. My work here is done. It's time for you guys to come up. We're going to take a photo right before we enjoy each other's company in the reception right outside, as I was corrected. But we take a family photo right now. Thank you.
It will be a huge